Boom, everyone. Happy Saturday to you. It's Saturday here in the boomtastic world. My brother and friend Rudy is not with us today. He is on his way to Baltimore to an event, and so we welcome him back tomorrow as part of this group. But I'm so happy to be here part with you today. And as you can tell, I have on my game day gear. Yes, it's Saturday, which means it's college football time, and it's time to take it to another level. You know, one of the things that happens here in ibüümerang is that we are given the opportunity to have so much training and so much available to us here. And we're being trained by people who get paid thousands of dollars an hour. That's not my rate, but that's their rate. Get paid thousands of dollars an hour for some real true personal development and some real true nuggets that they have going. And so what I want to do today is talk to you a little bit about the goals for the coming week. Now, this morning, if you were part of flight school, now if you're not part of ibüümerang, you can join us every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 o'clock Central Time. It's on Facebook Live for what we call flight school. And it's just nuggets about how to build your life and build your business. And this morning we had a great speaker in Emmanuel Bernstein. And what Super E told us about and talked about was the same thing that goes parallel to why I'm dressed with my Boom jersey on. He talked about using the metaphor of baseball and the World Series. Now, those of us in St. Louis know that we tried, but we didn't quite make it there. But congratulations to the Washington Nationals, and I know that the Houston Astros and the New York Yankees are still in the hunt to meet the Washington Nationals in the World Series. But Super E, Mr. Bernstein said something this morning, used the analogy of a baseball diamond. And as we talk about the goals for the coming week, and hello to Charles McSorley, who's joined us this morning. And Charles, thank you for reaching out to me this morning. You certainly gave me motivation. Peggy's joining us as well. So again, think about a baseball diamond. Okay, and you know you got the home plate down here. Then you have first base, second base, and third base. When a batter goes up to bat, you might think that his goal is to hit a home run. But in actuality, his goal or her goal, if they're playing, softball, the goal is to get to first base. That's where you've got to get to. And they used the story of the incomparable Hank Aaron. Think about the baseball greats. Think about the Hank Aarons of the world, the Mark McGuires, the A-Rods, the Albert Pujoses, the Willie Mays. Think about all the great baseball players that are here today and have come before. And when you look at their odds of home run versus the time at bat, statistically, it's about 3 out of 10 that they even get a hit. 70% of the time, they don't even get a hit. They may strike out. But what happens if they strike out? Well, the coach doesn't bench them for striking out. If it's early in the game, they know they get another chance in a future inning. They get back up to the plate and they try again. And the same thing is true in life. It's about getting to first base. And then from first base, getting to second, getting to third, and coming back home. Now, when you build a business, or even when you try to achieve your goals in life, use that same analogy. You get to first base. From first base, you go to second. And now first base is open. So in your business world, that allows you to have another customer or to have another team member come on. In your life, it allows you to have your next goal to come up. And so you start building that momentum. And then you get to third base. And so first moves to second, and now first is then open. And then when you score, that takes second to third, and it leaves first open, and you stay there and you bat again. In life and in your business, you just keep going. And so what happens if you strike out? You don't quit. I don't know a single baseball player that walked away after striking out. And think about this too. If a baseball player gets 30% of the time when he is at bat, gets a hit, that baseball player is a multi-million-dollar baseball player. So it's the way you look at it. Is the glass half full or is the glass half empty? And let me ask you the question then that follows. Does it really matter if the glass is half full or if the glass is half empty? Is it more important about who is pouring the water? Do you pour your own water into your glass? Now, this week, I've talked a little bit about this book, You Have Permission to Succeed, by Mr. Edwin Haynes, who is our Global Master Ambassador. If you do not have this book, go out to Amazon and get it. If you don't have the $10 or $15 to buy it, go to your local library and check it out. Or go online to one of the audio books, and for $1.99, get it and listen to it. Because this book is powerful. And I want to share with you two things today that are out of this book that go with setting your goals for this upcoming week. And remember, there's only 2 weeks left in October and only 2 months left in 2019. In these next 10 weeks, you can create the most significant results you've ever created in your life in 10 weeks. Let me share with you something here that Mr. Haynes writes about in here. He says, success takes dedication, proper planning, hard work, and perseverance. Is that not what a baseball player does too? They're dedicated, they work hard, they plan hard, and they persevere. Most people become jaded by the amount of effort it takes to reach the top. They give up quickly. It is important that you stay the course. If you run out of gas, fill up. If you hit a brick wall, knock it down. When you feel yourself running on empty, remember your why. Your why, remember your purpose. Review your goals and get back on the road that leads to a brighter future. And he gives an analogy here. He says, imagine driving on your trip. Imagine taking a road trip. As you reach each milestone, getting closer to your destination, you become excited. It is very unlikely that you will turn around and go back to your starting point if you are closer to your desired destination and the journey's end. Now, nothing in life is guaranteed, and with each journey, there will be the possibility of obstacles deterring your progress. One of the most common obstacles is oneself. You are your own worst obstacle. It seems that for most, the closer you get to the destination, the harder it becomes to see the end of the road. He says, pay attention to the passing milestones and not the potholes. Again, pay attention to the passing milestones and not the potholes. Be willing to stay the course and trust that the finish line is near and waiting. When he talks about be willing to stay the course, he says you are on your own time. If others seem to pass, just stay in your lane. Remember, this is your life. These are your goals, and you are the star in your own motion picture. Let me reiterate that because it's so critical when you're out trying to build something. It is your life. It is not someone else's. If they try to tell you what to do and you do that, then you're altering your course and you're accepting what they tell you to do. This is your life. These are your goals, and you are the star in your own motion picture. If you see others driving in the fast lane, passing you by as if their life is worry-free, as if they have everything in the world, you may begin to wonder, why not me? Why don't I have any team members? Why don't I have anybody, activating boomerangs? And here's the response. Just stay the course. You must remember not to take things at face value. Everything may not always be what it seems. Remember the time-tested adage, everything that glitters is not gold. Just because you see someone else achieving and you wonder why me, stop asking why me and start saying, what about me? What am I going to do to make someone look at me and say, yeah, this is what it's all about? One helpful way to bring you closer to your goal is to take this opportunity to stop and ask others how they reach theirs. If you're on this road trip and people are passing you by and you stop for a rest and you see one of them, have a conversation with them. What is it that they may have done that allowed them to get here earlier? Don't be afraid to seek advice from others that advanced to the level you desire. Remember that your fate is ahead of you, and only you can hinder yourself from obtaining the success that you desire. If others seem to pass you by, stay the course and remain on the right road, your road. Because see, not all of us take the same road. We may all start out at the same spot, but we don't all take the same road. So it's real critical that you accept the fact that this is you. This is your destiny. This is where you're headed. Another thing that Mr. Haynes talks about, and one of the things that Mr. Bernstein talked about this morning, is being who you are. Now, one of the things I marvel at on this call that Rudy and I do, and I know he's dressed to the nines today. Rudy dresses like he is a diamond. He dresses like he is a millionaire, because that's what he sees himself as becoming. And you might say, well, Bart, why do you have on ibüümerang all the time? Because when I'm out in public and I'm just out being the casual me, I always have on an ibüümerang something, because that's my brand. That's my vision. That's what I'm putting out there. If I go to the restroom and wash my hands and look in the mirror, what do I see? I see ibüümerang. It's a reminder to me that this is who I am. This is who I'm becoming. So interesting enough that Mr. Haynes talks about appearance in this book and how important appearance is. And let me just share some things that he talks about here when it comes to appearance. He says, number one, keep your clothes ironed and pressed. Wrinkled clothing shows that you don't think much of yourself or the opportunity being presented. The first time I ever went to an ibüümerang event, when we had our kickoff out in our pre-launch weather back in Houston, I was blown away by the way people dressed. Coats, slacks, ladies in pantsuits and dresses, and dressed as if what I call going to church clothes. Because that's the pride they had. And that was something that Mr. Holton Buggs instilled in them back in his other companies. And they showed up as if, and that's the key to it. Second thing is, men and women should maintain neat, well-groomed hair. Keep it simple. For men, facial hair should always be kept neat. For me, the fact I still have some hair, I keep it simple, and I'm proud that I still have it. And Peggy, you're right. This is constant reinforcement that you're doing. Secondly, your hands. Your hands should be clean. Keep your nails trimmed. Don't, if you're female, don't wear your nails too long. Keep them at an active length. Don't bite your nails. Doing so shows sign of extreme nervousness and insecurity. Have you ever seen someone that maybe you really admire, and they dress well and they're up presenting, and you meet them and you realize they have no fingernails? They're all bitten down to the core. And you think, they bite their nails. It does show a sign of insecurity. Number 4, I love this one. Perfume or cologne can be offensive. If worn, make sure your fragrance does not enter the room before you do. I think we all know people like that. You walk in the room and it's like, wow, where is that coming from? Number 5, remember where you're going. If it's business, dress like you're going to a party, the club, a wedding, or even a funeral. Maintain professional attire at all times. Don't overdo it. And I want to just talk a minute about that. Even if you're going to what we call a good party, or an informal party, and you know that guests are going to be there. If you show up in shorts, torn up jeans, if you've been smoking and you reek of cigarette smoke, if you come in and your clothes are wrinkled and you're and unbuttoned and messed, and you just came in from work and you're exasperated, that's the appearance. That's what people think about you. Take an extra couple of minutes and pull yourself together. As I mentioned, I wear the boomerang gear when I'm out in public. When I go to New York in 2 weeks, I'll have my iBoom gear on when I'm on the plane, when I'm walking around Manhattan, when I go to even meet someone to introduce them to it. But when I go to the Super Saturday event that Mr. Holton Bucks is going to be at, I will have on a dress shirt and a vest, and I will dress. Because that says to him, I respect you. But more importantly, it says to me, I respect myself and where I'm headed. Mr. Haynes then says, surprisingly, shoes are one of the first things people notice. Make sure your shoes are clean and polished. Do not wear shoes with scuff marks or worn heels or toes. Flip-flops are not appropriate. I love them. I wear them around the house. I have several pair, but I would not wear them to an event. If I'm going to the grocery store, maybe, but then again, I run the risk of someone seeing me that's a potential customer or potential team member. He also says that he talks about men should wear a belt and women should carry a simple handbag. But here's the thing. Most important, appearance has everything to do with your attitude. Be confident in who you are, and everything else will fall into place. We reward ourselves by staying in our jammies and just chilling out and being able to sit up in bed and eat popcorn or drink coffee or whatever, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when you're out to meet someone, or if you're doing a Zoom party or doing a broadcast, you want to make sure that you have the appearance out there. So just to reiterate kind of what we talked about today, think about a baseball game. Think about going up to bat. That is what is going to happen in the morning when you wake up. Start planning, and you're coaching yourself right now on how you're going to wake up. How are you going to get to first base? In baseball, they have 3 strikes, and then you hit as many balls as you want, to get there, or foul balls rather. But you get 3 strikes. If you get 4 balls, you're going to walk over there. Nothing wrong with walking with first base. At least you got off a home plate. And that's where people come in and give you help. Maybe someone says, here, I'm going to show you how to get to first base. And they'll walk with you along the way. That's those 4 balls you got to get to first base. Then it's up on you to get to second and to third and back home. So think about that. Think about how you appear to yourself. I know this next week here in St. Louis, we have several events coming up where we have people from across the country coming in. How are you going to show up for that? Because the way you show up is not only the way in which you feel about yourself, it's the way that they remember you as well. And then think about that road trip that Mr. Haynes talks about. Think about running out of gas, and what do? You fill up. In fact, Mr. Bernstein used the analogy of a car engine. With your own motor vehicle, don't you change the oil every so often and rotate the tires and make sure the tires are properly inflated? And why do you do that? To make the car last longer. The same thing is true in life. You need to replenish yourself and give yourself an oil change every so often. You need to make sure that everything about you is properly inflated and that you have all of the tools you need to be successful. Now, happy I got to share this time with you because, guys, this is what you get with ibüümerang. When we were in New Jersey on November 2nd, not only will Mr. Holton Bugs be there, but so will Mr. Ronell Sylvester, Mr. Peter Hirsch, Miss Karen Hirsch. We're going to have $25,000 an hour worth of training that's just going to be given to us because we're part of the ibüümerang family. If for no other reason, there's the number one reason to become part of this. Is because that is what we do. That is how we succeed, and it bleeds over into the other parts of your life. Now, if you want more information about ibüümerang, just put down in the chat, tell me more. Those 3 words, tell me more, then myself or Peggy or anyone else who's on this call will get it to you. If you want to see our technology, just write me, type in the word me, because what that will do is we'll give you then an iboomerang, and it's yours to keep and use for life. And what is it going to do? It's going to guarantee you savings anytime you travel, go out to eat, buy a bottle of wine, come and go to an amusement park. Coming soon, going to be your cellular service, going to be a rideshare service. Because here's the deal. This is where we're so different and just different from anyone else. We don't get paid unless our product works. And the only way our product works is if you save money. And it costs you nothing. In fact, we're giving you money because you're saving money. So that's what you've got to do. Thanks to Mr. Edmund Haynes, you are indeed a mentor and ambassador for me. To Mr. Edmund Burstein, you're just amazing. What you gave us this morning. And so until tomorrow, when hopefully my brother Rudy is back with us. If not, we'll be doing this again. I say to all of you, go out, have a great game day Saturday. Put on your game day gear. Get out there, make it happen in the morning. Wake up and be determined to get to first base. I'll see you tomorrow. Boom.